The 2026 Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN are presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Game 2 of Day 2 of the 2026 New England Regional. Yesterday, Gorham Little League out of Maine was convincing in their 13-3 run rule win over Massachusetts. Today, in front of a very packed home crowd here in Bristol, the Bristol Girls Softball Little Leaguers take center stage here in the New England Regional. One of two teams that hadn't played entering today after tonight with Rhode Island matching up against Vermont. All 6 teams will have played to conclude the first 2 days of New England Regional play. So happy you're with us on a sun-kissed Sunday afternoon here in Bristol. She's the former Olympian Haley McClenny. I'm Casey Roll. There wasn't much that Maine couldn't do yesterday. Behind a 6-run third inning, did everything they wanted against Massachusetts. How do they do the same against Connecticut today?
Well, I think the biggest key for Maine is going to be continuing that momentum. We saw really 1 through 12 in the Maine lineup put together really good quality at bats, whether that was a walk or just poking the ball, finding gaps, and really continuing to pass the bat offensively. It'll be a tall test today against Connecticut. These Connecticut fans have shown up and shown out, but for this Maine team, it's really all about taking the ball to right center, to left center, using the short game when they need to really just manufacture runs and let their athleticism and speed shine. They did a great job yesterday after working down into an early hole early in this game against Massachusetts, but overwhelmingly won the latter part of this game. We'll see if they can continue to ride that momentum and ride that wave here against Connecticut. This is going to be a great game, Casey. I'm excited.
Massachusetts scored the first run yesterday. Maine outscored Massachusetts 13-2 to end the game. Sophia Santiago was the big stick in the order, had a 3-run inside the park home run. Top 3 hitters remained the same from yesterday.
Yeah, and this is the top of the lineup that's really going to set the tone for this entire Maine order. Sophia Santiago obviously coming up clutch with a big-time home run yesterday, but pitcher Natalie McCurdy as well, where you're going to see her in the circle. She also had an RBI triple yesterday. And how about their 9-hole Nora Emlet being their RBI leader here in this postseason? Just speaks to the overall depth of this Maine team.
Ava Lafergie deals inside the tape to begin the afternoon. What's going to be her complexion in the circle?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for Lafergie, you know, as we were talking in our production meetings with the coaches, she's got a really strong 2-seam, throws with a lot of velocity, can use the changeup, can use a curveball when she needs to, but for her it's going to be about getting ahead of hitters, having command of her pitches, limiting free passes so she can open up and extend the strike zone to hopefully create some swing and miss.
Tave bounces a few hopper to the short. First chance today for Lucy Bastiats. One shortstop grounds to another to begin the afternoon.
Yeah, and the Connecticut fans are already fired up. They are here. They are loud, cheering on their Bristol Gators. A lot of blue and orange. That is not the University of Florida out there, although the uniforms look very similar. That is Bristol.
There are a lot of Gator fans on this Connecticut Little League team. More on that as the afternoon goes on. Sophia Santiago takes a strike. Home plate umpire Bradley Wathen is behind the plate. John Wagner is the first base ump. Ryan Yamagata, yesterday's umpire for this regionals opener, is at second. Brian Poe is the third base umpire. The 2-hole hitter Santiago down, no balls and 2 strikes in her first at-bat of the day. That 3-run inside the park home run came part of that 6-run third for Maine last night. Santiago rockets it back up the circle. Lafergie unable to make a play. It's an infield single for Santiago. That'll wake you up.
Yeah, Santiago is swinging a really hot bat right now. We talked about her exit velocity yesterday, but another strong example there of getting a pitch down in the zone and just really taking it right back up the middle off of Lafergie there in the circle.
Pitcher versus pitcher matchup. Natalie McCurdy takes high, go to second, and a stolen base for Santiago. Had 2 of them yesterday as her first stolen bag of the day. Slid so hard the bag came flying off the pegs.
And we were talking with manager Nathan Schools as well before we got this tournament started, and he said, you know, you get a courtesy runner for pitchers and catchers if you want them. He said Sophia Santiago does not need it. She is one of our fastest players, got a really good base running IQ. You see more of that on display here.
Ball a strike to McCurdy, the ace of this Maine staff. Two pitchers who have been their best arms for each respective teams, Lafergie and McCurdy. McCurdy takes high, throw to third, and Manos the shortstop and the third baseman. Throw from left field, Whitlock bounces it home, and Maine is up and running. They've got a 1-0 lead in the first.
This is Maine continuing to do what they do. They are so athletic, and Sofia Santiago leads the way for them hitting out of the 2 spot, but you're gonna see batter squares around a bunt. Shortstop is late coming over. That allows that throw to go into left field, and with the speed of Santiago, that is an automatic run every time. Great job on the fake bunt steal. Great execution from Maine, and McCurdy's gonna draw herself a walk to continue the momentum here for Gorham Little League.
The third baseman, number 77, Taylor Schools.
Stolen base for Santiago. She came in to score on a throwing error from Dakota Green behind the plate. With 1 on and 1 gone, here's Taylor Schools. The Maine cleanup hitter takes up high.
Lafergie, you can tell, is a little bit struggling with the strike zone right now. Looks like some timing is off, maybe with her mechanics, releasing the ball a little bit late.
Is that arm motion with that release point issue, or is that just the whole body motion contributing to that?
It could be both. A lot of pitchers, you know, will go based off of feel with what they feel like their strong release point is when that front foot lands. But it's really just about getting your feel, getting your timing. I'm sure that, you know, Bristol knows that they are the hometown team here. Great throw back there behind the plate from Dakota Green. This was an absolute rocket to throw out Natalie McCurdy at second base. You want to talk about a momentum shift. That was awesome. And you're going to see this is textbook catching. Great pop time, phenomenal line. Great job over there receiving the ball as well by Mary Thompson, just to put that tag down, blocking the base.
Now, just a second here, Brittany. Maine manager Nate Schools is talking to the crew chief, Ryan Yamagata. He might be asking whether or not obstruction could be in play with that slide at second base. Sounds like the call on the field stands as a caught stealing. So the base is clear and 2 outs. But Schools still at the plate. There's a look at the leader of the Maine Little Leaguers. Second trip to Bristol in the last 3 years. Led Maine to a win yesterday. Already a bit of a different complexion with Maine scoring the game's first run. 2-2 is whipped down the line at first, and the catch made by Kiva Knowles. Ranged in the foul ground, and Knowles steals it out for Lafergie to end this first.
Great play over here at first base by Kiva Knowles. Gets a great read on this ball. Hard off the bat of Taylor Schools, but Knowles catching one. Connecticut coming up to bat here in the bottom of the first.
The Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN are presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. When you talk to Bristol Girls Little League softball manager Adam Whitlock about how this team has been received here in Bristol, he says this team is like a group of local celebrities. They got an escort to the facilities here on Friday for media availabilities. A lot of fans making their way across town to watch these Connecticut Little Leaguers play. Easily the biggest fan base here on site throughout the course of the weekend. They're down 1-0 as we start the bottom of the first, but here's a look at Adam Whitlock's lineup taking their first swings on the weekend.
Yeah, Lucy Bastiance is going to get us going in leadoff spot. She's the tone setter for this entire lineup, but a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism for Bristol. And we'll see if they can do damage against Natalie McCurdy, who has been the workhorse so far for Maine in this postseason. We saw her yesterday against Massachusetts, 83 pitches, only 25 balls, so she was in command of the strike zone, had 6 strikeouts in that game yesterday as well, and really did a great job of weathering the storm. She worked out of some early jams, and talking to the coaching staff, her mentality is really what sets her apart as a pitcher.
Ground ball fisted over to Maeve McDonald, who retires Bastiance with a throw over to Amelia Cody. 4-3 ground out begins this bottom of the first.
The first baseman, number 10, Kiva Knowles.
Good play over there by McDonald. Ball was a little bit of a hot shot off of Bastiance's bat. Say that 10 times fast. Bastiance's bat.
It already got you in the first try. Kiva Knowles takes a strike. Stolen out for Connecticut in that top of the first inning, snaring a line drive in foul territory. "13-year-old first baseman for this Connecticut team against the 12-year-old Natalie McCurdy. Wave and a miss to move the count to 0-2.
McCurdy picking up right where she left off yesterday, continuing to attack the strike zone, gets a quick leadoff out, and already now working ahead 1-2.
As the game went on yesterday, what pitch do you feel like McCurdy was really feeling?
I think she got better yesterday, deeper in counts when throwing that off speed, and it wasn't necessarily getting a swing and miss with the off speed, but it was more so the off speed setting up her higher velocity pitches, whether that was on the inside part of the plate or the outside part of the plate. If your changeup is slow enough and then you come back with a high velocity pitch right after, it can really mess up the hitter's timing, and I think that's what made her successful later in the game yesterday.
Rings up Knowles down the chute for her first strikeout of the afternoon.
And just like that, she throws a changeup and then comes back a couple of pitches later with just a fastball that's going to freeze Kiva Knowles. Gets the top part of the strike zone right on that corner there. And two quick outs here for Maine.
First at bat of the weekend for Lucy Cowlitz, the Connecticut center fielder. In her final year of playing Little League softball, just turned 13. Multi-sport athlete, also plays basketball and soccer. Adam Whitlock mentioned quiet voice, but can appropriately be energetic when the moment calls for it. 2-1. McCurdy's a strike away from retiring the Connecticut Little Leaguers in order in this first inning. Two-two to Cowlitz.
A really good job here by Lucy Cowlitz to foul off a couple of pitches. You can tell she seems like she's right on time, just missing a hair underneath that pitch. So far, the best at bat that we've seen from this Connecticut team.
Cowlitz sprays it into the air right side. And that ball is off the glove of McCurdy. She played that ball in fair territory before it trickled foul. And Connecticut's got its first base runner of this first inning.
Yeah, good things happen when you put the ball in play. This looks like a little bit of a miscommunication between Natalie McCurdy and first baseman Amelia Cody. You can see there's just a little bit of, I'm not sure if you're going to get it, I'm not sure if I'm going to get it, and that hesitation leads to a bobbled ball and ultimately a runner at first base, as Connecticut runner on one with 2 outs now, trying to see if they can tie this game.
It's an E1 tag to McCurdy. May have been a bit of miscommunication between McCurdy and Cody, the first baseman. A 2-ball and no strike count to the cleanup hitter Ava Lafergie, the Connecticut pitcher.
Love seeing the 2 pitchers hitting the 3 and 4 spots respectively today. We love pitchers who rake.
Think of Jordy Fromm at Nebraska, one of the more notable college softball pitchers who hit for themselves this last year. 3-ball and 1 strike count to Lafergie with McKinley Whitlock waiting on deck. Bounding ball back to the circle. Couple room service hops for McCurdy. One pitcher grounds out to another to begin the first. After a 2-out fielding error, Connecticut unable to get anything across. Through 1, it's a 1-0 Maine lead here in Bristol. Welcome back to the Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Game 2 of the weekend for Maine. They're up 1-0 on Connecticut as we start the second here in Bristol. 10 miles west of Portland is where you can find Gorham, Maine, the location of this Little League softball program. That pitch is down and away to begin this inning to Carly Piacitelli, the speedy Maine center fielder. Gorham is the location of the oldest wooden covered bridge in Maine. Man, say that a few times.
Important distinctions, covered bridge.
If you're a Survivor fan, it's also Survivor U pipeline system. Dan Foley, Bob Crowley, and Julie Berry, the 3 Survivor contestants from Gorham, Maine.
And Bob Crowley was the winner.
He did. He did win, season 17. Nate Schools, the Maine manager, was in one of his science classes back when Coach Schools was in high school. 1-2, wave and a miss on the ball that gets to the backstop. Throw from Green down the line. Pulled Knowles off the base paths, but she steps back on the bag. Hits a strikeout for Ava Lafergie, her first of the afternoon.
This is a great pitching sequence by Ava Lafergie. Goes down in the zone and then goes up when she needs to, 1 and 2, to get a big time swing and miss, making that up pitch a lot more enticing when you can command the bottom of the zone.
That pitch misses outside to Maeve McDonald, the Maine second baseman. She split second base duties with Hannah Wilson this year. She earned the starting second base job at the start of the postseason between Gorham's run through districts and the state tournament. Speaks very highly of her softball IQ to field everything hit to the right side, especially with McCurdy getting a lot of ground balls between first and second base this summer. Count evens at 2 apiece. Lafergie in that top of the first walks 1 batter. Count runs full to the 6-hitter McDonald. Here's the payoff. High and wide, second walk of the game for Maine. They've got a 1-out base runner in the second.
We saw a lot of this from Maine yesterday, being able to draw walks and stay disciplined on pitches, and that was a good job there by Maeve McDonald of letting that rise ball go. We saw Carly Piacitelli strike out on that exact same pitch in the at-bat before, so good job of making the adjustment and getting a base runner.
Amelia Cody flashes that one foul wide of first base. You a fan of that, seeing a pitcher for the first time on the weekend swinging away first pitch?
I love it. I love the aggressiveness, especially as we get down into the bottom part of the order here. If you know and you feel like you're on time, especially with a pitcher that has a decent command of the strike zone, you know you're going to get a good pitch to hit and get your swing off.
That ball eludes Green to the backstop. That allows McDonald to advance an extra 60 feet. Maine had 3 hits with runners in scoring position yesterday against Massachusetts. They have a chance for their first of the afternoon in this second frame.
Good job there by Cody laying off 1-2. We've seen Lafergie go upstairs in those high leverage counts. It's going to be important for Maine to continue to see the ball down if they want to add to this lead.
Two again. Back-to-back full count at bats for Lafergie. Great twos high and wide, back-to-back 1-out walks. And Maine's cooking here in Connecticut in the second.
Amelia Cody does a great job of laying off that pitch, but even the pitch before that, that changeup that Lafergie threw was very enticing down in the bottom part of the zone. Maine continuing to build on what we saw yesterday, just excellent plate discipline and not giving the pitchers any sort of free passes or free will. They're swinging at strikes. Even that one with Hannah Wilson there. I know it's a swing and miss, but still, you're giving yourself so much more opportunity for success if you swing at pitches that are inside the strike zone and make the pitcher continue to work.
RBI spot for Wilson. She's reminded by Nate Schools that she hits her best when she hits with a 2-strike approach. She's got 2 strikes on her there. Where should the approach be from what you've seen from Lafergie?
Yeah, I think just shortening up and, again, making sure you're swinging at strikes. She's gone up in the zone in a 1-2 count, just like that, does it again. And that's a big-time strikeout for Ava Lafergie. You can tell she's trying to get her timing down a little bit. The off-speed hasn't really been working. This pitch is a lot more enticing. It's not super out of the zone, but just out of the zone enough to, even if Hannah Wilson makes contact with it, she's not going to do too much damage. It's a big-time swing and miss with a runner in scoring position, and now 1 out away from getting herself out of this jam.
Maine's team leader in RBI, Nora Emlet, steps to the plate for the first time, hitting in that 9 spot as she did yesterday. Her final year playing Little League softball, her age 13 summer. And the count 2-0.
And Coach was telling us, too, just about all the work that Nora Emlett's been able to put in to improve as a hitter and to be the RBI leader for this team in the postseason. Added a lot of power, made contact more consistently, has put the ball in play a lot more, and has really grown as a hitter just by putting in the work and working with some hitting coaches around the area as well.
Lafergie's a strike away from hanging up a 0 in this top of the second. Two-two. Got her swinging. Lafergie rings up the side to leave 2 on in the second inning to keep this a 1-run game.
Ava Lafergie working herself out of a jam, using the curveball to get a bunch of swings and misses, just absolutely carving these main hitters right now. We'll see if Connecticut can cut into this lead.
Into the last of the second here in Bristol. The Bristol Little Leaguers representing the town of Bristol, Connecticut, which is almost equidistant between Boston and New York City. About 20 miles separate the two hubs. It is the home of our boss's headquarters, ESPN, the worldwide leader. The Mum City, a chrysanthemum production hub. Chrysanthemum, one of the more colorful gems, or at least things you can dig up or make. And pitches down to McKinley Whitlock to begin this second inning against Natalie McCurdy. She was dialed in that first frame, got a strikeout, some weak contact. And speaking of ESPN, McKinley Whitlock's dad, Adam Whitlock, is one of our co-workers at ESPN. There's a look at Adam, a 26-year man with the worldwide leader. Started as an intern in the early 2000s, the senior director of ESPN remote traffic operations. Anytime you have the word director in your title, you must be pretty important.
Been with ESPN 26 years. Got to be so cool for him just being on the field, being on the other side of it.
Did Whitlock break the zone appeal? The first she did, according to John Wagner down the line.
That's a really good pitch here by Natalie McCurdy, going upstairs, and Whitlock wants to lay off. She just can't. It's a little bit too enticing and ends up bringing the barrel all the way around as McCurdy gets her second strikeout of the day.
Avery Collins digs in. Was very clutch for this Connecticut team. Pitched the final 2 innings in extra innings in this Bristol Girls Little League program's run-through sectionals. He's also played a very strong left side of the infield, whether it be third base or shortstop throughout this summer. It's a Bristol program that's very old up there in age, very experienced. Tons of 11 and 12-year-olds. Collins labeled as one of the more mature players in terms of being well beyond her age for her softball IQ.
You could sense that going through warm-ups, watching these Bristol Little Leaguers just go about their business. It was very close to what I would say a professional warm-up would look like. They were all very locked in, very serious.
That's fisted down the line to right field, and it drops down in front of Lucy Coulthard. It's a bloop single the other way to right. First hit of the game for Connecticut.
And Avery Collins does a great job. Doesn't get all of this ball, but gets just enough. You see it kind of go off the end of the bat there, but with her strength, it just plops right in front of Lucy Coulthard out there in right field. And Connecticut has got their first hit of the ball game. And we'll see if they can bring Avery Collins around to score.
Mary Thompson takes a strike. Oh, we had talked about favorite movies. Mighty Ducks, big hockey fan. We are in the East Coast where there's tons of hockey programs, and we had also talked about in the top of the second with Gora Main being Survivor Central. Her favorite TV show is Survivor.
Love to see it.
One-two. Changes speeds. Thompson lays off to even the count. How about this at bat from down 0-2, the running at full?
Yeah, absolutely. Very competitive, poised. We talked about the maturity of this Bristol Little League team. Nothing embodies it more than working at back to a full count.
That ball stung on the right side into the outfield. Back-to-back singles for Connecticut, and Bristol is cooking in front of the home fans.
And the home fans are coming alive here. This is a great job, a phenomenal at-bat by Mary Thompson. Gets down 0-2, works it back full, and then look at how she's just gonna drive this ball to the opposite field. There is nothing more beautiful in diamond sports than an opposite field hit. Phenomenal piece of hitting there by Mary Thompson.
Ellie Tisch has got an RBI chance. Favorite baseball player, one of the top RBI men in the world. Can she be the RBI person for Bristol here today? That's a strike. Be very curious to see how Maine controls the run game today. Yesterday, one of the few things Massachusetts was able to do consistently, run the bases regardless of where everybody was.
Yeah, and it was the delay steal that Massachusetts utilized. Just getting off, making sure that Santiago, and you're going to see it again here, making sure that Santiago checks those runners all the way back to the bag before she gives up the ball back to McCurdy in the circle. I mean, you know that was a point of emphasis for the Maine coaching staff, I'm sure, coming into this game, is making sure that you're controlling and keeping an eye on all those base runners at all times.
And that is something, too, that you're taught regardless of sport, softball, baseball. Walk the runner back to their base that they were at before making a throw down. That's down, counts full.
Yeah, you just want to make sure that you're making the runner make a decision. If that's running to third base or running to second base, wherever it is, you want to get them moving. You don't want them standing still, because as soon as that catcher releases the ball, that runner can't advance.
That ball grounded weakly to first base. A step by Cody on the bag gets the force out. Productive out moves two runners in the scoring position. And it turns into an RBI chance for Dakota Green. Rain looking to drive in some runs out of the 9 spot here this afternoon. That's upstairs for ball 2. With first base unoccupied, 3-0 here, is this kind of an unintentional pitch around spot?
Yeah, I would imagine so. You don't want anyone to beat you in this situation. McCurdy does have really good command. We've seen that on display so far here in this regional. Working 3-1, I would expect a strike here too.
That's fisted behind the plate. There's Santiago crushing into the backstop. Look at Sofia Santiago stealing some runs.
How about Sofia Santiago? We've talked about her bat, but behind the plate, showing off the athleticism. What a phenomenal read. Great body awareness. Knowing where she is in space makes a SportsCenter top 10 play for Maine.
Here's a look how Maine got back to Bristol. Their second visit to Brainfield in the last 3 years. Went 10-2 entering the regional. Both losses coming by a pair of runs. 7 or more runs were scored in all 3 state tournament games. Natalie McCurdy was electric in the circle. 3 runs allowed in 24 innings pitched. And with Maine getting back to Bristol, that means that Nate Schools, for the second time in 3 years, had to visit his team barber shop. And he had joked with us that I think his girls are more interested in having fun and shaving the head than they were knowing that they were going to go back to another regional. That's, I think, where he felt the complexion was.
Look, anything is going to motivate the girls to get a win. Coach is going to buy into, so kudos to him. He's clearly wearing the hat, though, to make sure he doesn't get sunburnt on this beautiful sunny day.
He knows that we've got cameras everywhere. He doesn't want to show off the landscaping up there.
There's also talk about him getting a tattoo, apparently, as well. Wonder who gets to pick that out.
Lucy Coulthard flexes that one foul. I would assume either winning pitcher or whoever scores the winning run. Okay, we get a little glimpse of what that looks like from. It's business up front with the cap and a party in the back with the with a clean scalp. Coulthard out of the 10 spot. Reached base a couple times yesterday. Ava Lafergi's thrown 7 straight strikes. Coulthard waves and misses. Lafergie struck out 3 straight going back to the second.
And this is beautiful adjustment from Lafergie. You mentioned she was trying to find her timing early on in this game, but has clearly found it with the curveball. And then here with the changeup, getting a big-time swing and miss to fool Lucy Colford, get a big-time leadoff out here in the top of the third.
Hayden West takes up high to begin her first at-bat of the day. Tater tot, as she's called amongst the main dugout. Really embodies what this Little League Regional and Little League is about. When asked about what she enjoys about the prospect of playing in the Little League Regional, she enjoys the idea of talking to girls from other teams, just being able to talk to other people from across New England. They are staying in dorms this weekend, getting a chance to mingle with other teams after games.
That's one of the coolest parts, I think, about these regional tournaments is these athletes staying on site, getting to know each other, build camaraderie, build friendships with players from other states and other programs. It's what makes this tournament so special year after year, the friendships you make.
She climbs a ladder and comes up empty, make it 4 consecutive Ks for Lafergie.
Stepping to the plate, right fielder number 29.
Find a Little
Morgan
League on Facebook,
Allen.
X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at the official handles at Little League. Don't forget to use the hashtag LLWS. Morgan Allen out of the 12 spot. Maine just asking her to put the ball in play. The last 5 outs have been recorded via Ks.
Yeah, and Ava Lafergie's really getting into a groove here. Seems like she's found her timing, gotten really comfortable with the strike zone. Has used that 2-seam fastball and the curveball as well as the changeup to really keep this bottom part of the main lineup off balance.
She's got the corners working, and she's in a very friendly 1-2 count. Lone Maine run scored in that first inning came on a stolen base and an errant throw from Dakota Green behind the plate. But since that point, it's been all Lafergie in the circle. Gets a swing and miss to dispel Allen to end the third. She strikes out the side for the second inning in a row.
Ava Lafergie is on fire. She has found her groove. Connecticut has the momentum, and it's all because Ava Lafergie is feeling it. Strikes out the side, heading to the bottom of the third.
Little League Softball Regionals continue with the debut of Little League Around the Bases, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Live coverage today and tomorrow of every region from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and streaming live on ESPN+. This Connecticut crowd has grown as the innings have progressed. The city of Bristol has firmly embraced this Bristol Little League program in their run toward a potential World Series appearance. Faith Marie Soto leads things off in this bottom of the third, against Natalie McCurdy. Part of this Connecticut team that's so heavily vested in community and in involvement with one another. Talking with Connecticut manager Adam Whitlock earlier in the week, I mentioned that there's nobody that this team gets more excited for than Faith Marie Soto. When she does something big, this entire team erupts. They love seeing her succeed.
It's so special to be able to have that camaraderie, that sportsmanship, just that overall team mentality, and you know that's got to feel good for Soto, knowing that, hey, it's not just me up here trying to get a hit, but I've got 11 girls in the dugout that are right behind me, and they're in the box with me, cheering me on.
Ran into her dad earlier today between games. So there's a look at that Bristol dugout. Soto stings it down the line and right, fading foul. The count holds full.
Having some fun in there, cheering on Faith Marie.
Soto rips it down the line and left, just wide of that chalk. Dumped a couple inches wide of falling fair.
And so far, really good at bat by Soto, fouling off a few pitches. Really doing a good job of staying disciplined in the strike zone, making Natalie McCurdy really work in this at-bat.
We see the 9th pitch of the at-bat coming up. How about the effort from the hitter in the 10 spot, working a very long at-bat to begin an inning.
Speaks to the depth of this Bristol team. There's no breaks in this lineup.
That is something, too, Haley, that Adam Whitlock talked about. He said there's no real weakness in the lineup. The 3 girls who don't play a position could play a position on almost any other team. That's what Coach Whitlock mentioned.
Yeah, and he was really excited about the depth of this lineup, as you can see. I mean, it's on full display right now as Soto's going to draw a walk, firing up the dugout. What a phenomenal at-bat, a professional at-bat there by Faith Marie Soto, fouling off pitches and then having the discipline to let that last ball go in the dirt. And Connecticut, we talked about them stealing momentum a little bit with Ava Lafergie in the circle, striking out 5 in a row, coming into this inning, getting a leadoff on. They're really starting to get these fans excited here for their hometown team. You can see, there she is, firing up those Bristol Gator fans.
1 ball and 1 strike to Alex Patterson, hitting in the 11th spot. The 12-year-old Patterson, who wears number 27 because of her favorite softball player, Jenny Finch. That's a strike, delayed steal. Soto gets herself in a scoring position.
Really good job by Faith Marie Soto, showing off her speed and athleticism.
This is the first time today that Connecticut's got a leadoff batter in the scoring position. The count runs full to Patterson.
And we mentioned the bottom part of the main lineup on the flip side, really struggling against Ava Lafergie with 5 strikeouts in a row. So far right now, the bottom part of this Bristol lineup has put together some pretty quality at-bats. Seeing a lot of pitches. You saw Soto go deep in that at bat to draw the walk, and then you're seeing Patterson here just foul off pitches, work her way into a full count.
Between Soto and Patterson, McCurdy has thrown 16 pitches without an out being recorded. Patterson takes a called strike. Out number 1 here in the third strikeout for McCurdy.
Man, a good job there by McCurdy. Her coaches talk about her resilient mindset and working her way out of jams. No bigger moment than this so far in this game for her. And puts that pitch right at the top part of the strike zone, gets the call, and gets a big first out of the inning.
Juliana Pavlak takes for ball 1. After Pavlak, it'll be the top of the order for Connecticut. Big in the superstitions, eats apples before and during games. Slapped wide of first base to move the count to 1-2. Were you able to eat during games? Did you ever do that in your career?
I was a big snacker. Apples were a go-to. Uncrustables were a big go-to.
That ball wrapped to short off the glove of McCurdy. The throw from safe. And plenty of time to dispatch Pavlak. The throw back to third. Almost eluded. Nora Emlet covering third base as backup. Near disaster for Maine in the field.
It was so important for Nora Emlet to be there to back up that throw. And this is so huge, and especially at this level, this is a great job by Sloan Tafe over there to get the out, but then Amelia Cody sees Faith Marie Soto get off a little bit, throw goes wide, but Nora Emlet being able to be there saves a run for Maine.
Lucy Bastians takes up high. And one thing, too, Haley, to take note of, Nora Emlet's playing left field out of necessity. She's a first baseman naturally, playing the outfield for the first time in her career. That was a very experienced play by getting back there to cover third base on the throw. Soto stays put on third on the ball that trickled by Santiago a few feet. There's a look at Nora Emlet, the 13-year-old in her last summer of Little League. If Bastians were to reach base, Kevin Knowles would bat potentially with runners on the corners. They've made McCurdy work. She's thrown 20 or more pitches in each inning this afternoon. Deals a strike to get back in the count. Bounding ball right side, off the glove of McDonald in the right center. Connecticut's tied the game in the third.
And it's the quality at bats of this Connecticut team that led to that run being scored. It started with Faith Marie Soto battling and getting on base, stealing a couple of bases and using her speed. And then Lucy Bastians works herself into a leverage count, hits this ball back up the middle. Really tough for Maeve McDonald to handle over there at second base. And Connecticut, all the momentum seems to be on their side as they've tied this game here in the bottom of the third.
An RBI single for Bastians has leveled the score. Second at bat for Knowles. She struck out in the first. That ball off of Santiago. Throw to second. Delayed steal. Works to perfection. Bastians is in the scoring position.
This is the ball that's going to get away from Sofia Santiago a little bit behind the plate, and it's actually going to go off of Knowles there in the batter's box. This play is a lot closer than it should have been, but great base running there by Lucy Bastians to get another runner in scoring position for Connecticut.
'30th pitch of the inning coming up for McCurdy. The infield heads over toward the circle. Adam Whitlock also talking with Knowles just outside the plate. Without question, the most competitive game in this regional so far. This is day 2 of the New England region. Winner of this game plays in the semis tomorrow at 7. Check that. The semis on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. We'll play the winner of Rhode Island and Vermont in that semi. Whoever wins this one will definitely earn it. Where's the 3-2 have to be with for McCurdy?
Oh, you got to make sure you're throwing something not too far over the plate, but you want to try to hit a corner. I expect McCurdy to go outside here.
Gets her looking for a called strike 3. She clips the upper third to retire the side, but not before Connecticut ties it. 2-out RBI single from Lucy Bastian. Life through the 3 full innings.
Welcome to the Little League Softball World Series.
This is as big as the event has ever been.
12 strikeouts tonight.
Find the glove!
It is out of here!
The competition has definitely elevated. The best is yet to come.
Everyone will be watching intently in Greenville starting on August 2nd for the 2026 Little League World Series. Last year, West Suburban Little League from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and the Mid-Atlantic won it all. In New England, Connecticut has had a firm vice grip on this region going back to 2022. 3 of the last 4 New England region champs came from Connecticut, with last year going to Guilford Little League, who went 4-0 in this tournament. Milford went back-to-back in 22 and 23. How does Maine bounce back after allowing the first run of the weekend to Bristol in that bottom of the third? Sloan Tafe is at the plate for the second time.
Well, it's going to be an important inning for Maine. You got a second time through, starting at the top of the lineup with Sloan Tafe. And Sophia Santiago in the 2 spots got the only hit so far for Maine. So if you're going to want to try to get momentum back on your side, this is the exact spot of the order you want to be in. And all bets are off. It's a 0-0 ball game.
Tafe rips it right side. That finds the grass. Throw over the first base is late. Ellie Tisha came up firing, but Tafe hustling down the line is on board with a leadoff single.
Big time at bat here from Sloan Tafe, and you're going to see this pitch is on the outside part of the plate. She lets that ball travel, does exactly what you're supposed to do as a hitter. Got to give a shout out to the outfielder though. How about Ellie Tisha just coming up firing? Love to see that. No automatic singles.
Making you work for your 60 feet.
Absolutely.
Time's called. Adam Whitlock, the Connecticut manager, is chatting with the crew chief, Bryant Poe. Do not know what it's about at this point, but it looks like he's asking for a review of something over near the backstop.
If there was something that manager Whitlock saw that led him to believe that that runner at first base is out, not sure. She clearly beats the throw from what we saw live. Yeah, the foot gets down. So you can clearly see her foot's on that orange bag before that ball's into the glove over there of Kiva Knowles. Now maybe there's a question of, I don't know if there was a tag that was applied and she went back to the orange base. I'm not sure, but if they're challenging whether or not the ball beat her, she is clearly safe based off of that look. But again, love the throw from Ellie Tisha out there in right field.
For those new to Little League, you get 2 challenges. So as we saw in the video replay, the challenge at the call at first base is upheld. It is a single. Connecticut's down to 1 challenge left in regulation innings. If we were to play into extra innings, they would get a challenge back. You get 2 challenges in regulation innings. They are use it or lose it challenges. I mean, you've got them, why not use them? But I mean, in that sense, maybe not use it. Sofia Santiago had the lone hit prior to that single from Tafe. A ball on the strike to the main catcher, who's already flexed her muscles defensively today. Made an outstanding catch in foul territory to save a possible rally for Connecticut. That ball slashed in the right field. That's down. Wide turnaround second. Tafe is digging for third. She's in there on back-to-back singles.
Sofia Santiago just continuing to be an absolute workhorse in the heart of this main lineup. She has hit the ball all over the field. We see her go opposite field here as well. That ball's on the inside part of the plate, but does a great job of keeping her hands inside and driving it to right field, allowing Sloan Tafe with her speed to get all the way to third. And Maine here threatening with runners on the corners, nobody out. And I would expect to see the speed of Sofia Santiago as well on display here, trying to advance to second, and there she's going to go.
She takes second without a throw. That's her 4th stolen base between yesterday and today. Dispelling the notion that catchers can't run. She says, watch me. Haley, you hear the term all the time, making adjustments, both as a pitcher and a hitter. It was obvious that Ava Lafergie made an adjustment from the bottom portion of the lineup. She had struck out the side in back-to-back innings. What adjustments has Maine made at the plate?
Well, I think just having the top of your order is a huge benefit, right? But I think they've just clearly shortened their approaches. Their swings maybe got a little bit long, the bottom part of the lineup. And I think those conversations with the coaching staff, you know, Nathan Schools, saying, hey, we don't need to swing too hard. We don't need to do anything outside of our comfort zone. Let's just shorten up our swings a little bit. Lafergie's throwing with some velocity. Shorten up, put the ball in play. Good things are going to happen. And so far in this top of the 4th, good things have happened for them.
McCurdy goes down swinging. One pitcher strikes out another. 7th K for Lafergie in the circle.
And I don't think I can stress enough how big of an out this is for Ava Lafergie, with runners in scoring position, 2 outs, to be able to go downstairs, utilizing that 2-seam fastball down and in to Natalie McCurdy. Great pitch there to get a big time out.
Taylor Schools trampolines it to first. Knowles comes home. They've got Tafe caught in the rundown. Collins tags out Tafe on her back before coming home. The throw goes to third. Santiago was caught in between, but Connecticut guns down a possible go-ahead run at home to keep this one tied.
This is textbook fundamental defense from this Connecticut team. That is such a big time out. The wherewithal for Kiva Knowles to be able to get this ball, fire it to home right away, and then just the fundamental execution of Dakota Green. And then the big tag out there by Avery Collins as well to get that out, prevent that run from scoring, to keep this game tied.
It's a fielder's choice that goes 3-2 to 5. Santiago at second, with Schools on at first for Carly Piacitelli. She struck out to lead off the second, her first time up. Winner of this game draws a semifinal berth on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Easily the biggest crowd of the weekend. Easily the most exciting game of this first two-day stretch. This is something Maine excelled at yesterday in the chances against Massachusetts. At 3 hits with runners in scoring position, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts against Lafergie with runners in scoring position tonight.
A very stark contrast between today and yesterday for this Maine offense, but you got to give credit to Ava Lafergie. She's worked herself into some jams, but her mentality, her resilience, she's been able to work herself out of it. As we're going to get a walk to load the bases here. This is a big-time moment in this game. Feels like a pivotal situation.
Number 4, Maeve McDonald.
With Maeve McDonald coming up to bat.
Easily one of those circle this at-bat moments with McDonald up. Bases full, 2 outs in the 4th. Maine scored first. Connecticut answered with a run in the bottom of the 3rd. Strike 1. Santiago, the go-ahead runs at 3rd. Schools is at 2nd. Piacitelli is at 1st. All 3 of them can fly. Lafergie's a strike away from leaving him loaded.
And there's a little extra oomph on that two-seam fastball there from Lafergie. McDonald a little bit late on that up pitch.
Oh-2. These Bristol fans not agreeing with Bradley Wathen's call. 1-2.
Very close miss there for Lafergie, utilizing that curveball on the outside part of the plate. Wouldn't be surprised if she went back there. Maybe he'll go two-seam down and in. Nice little setup.
Lafergie gets her looking. Her 8th strikeout. She's in her bag to leave him loaded. This place going nuts here in Bristol. Don't go anywhere. Natalie McCurdy has been money for Maine so far in the circle this summer. She's also showing off the money moves with the worm in her pregame warm-ups. A lot of pitchers use the weighted ball. Some of them do the plyometric stretches. Natalie McCurdy does her worm dance. She's wormed her way out of a lot of trouble today, but that pitch count has rised with each inning, sitting at 79 pitches to begin the fourth.
Yeah, you got to give the Connecticut lineup a lot of credit. They've done a great job of making her work deep into counts. Plate discipline has been really good for them so far in this game. They're swinging at strikes. They're fouling off pitches. You go back to that Faith Marie Soto at bat. That really kind of turned this momentum around for Connecticut, allowed them to tie up the game. And we'll see if they can continue that here in the bottom of the fourth.
She gets a couple early strikes on Lucy Callett, the Bristol Little League center fielder. Big part of the Connecticut order here in the fourth. 3, 4, and 5 batters scheduled against McCurdy. Changes speeds and left it upstairs. Another member of this Connecticut Little League program, Callett, playing in her final year of Little League, a 13-year-old. Crucial on this Connecticut program this year, who went 9-0 in the postseason. Big UConn basketball fan. She takes that over the inside corner for a called strike. McCurdy rings up Callett to begin the fourth.
Yeah, good pitch here by Natalie McCurdy. Had a couple of balls get away from her to work back into a full count, but she gets the inside corner there. Get a big-time strikeout to start this inning here for Maine.
Ava Lafergie takes high and wide. Pitcher versus pitcher duel. How good have these two been in the circles, respectively, between McCurdy and Lafergie so far today?
It's been a pitcher's duel for sure. What I've been most impressed with both of them is just the command of the strike zone. They're throwing a lot of strikes. They're throwing the ball. They're hitting their corners, mixing speeds when they need to, doing a really good job of setting up hitters. And we'll see who breaks first in this game. But so far, these two have been really fun to watch and really fun to watch compete.
Lafergie in the circle has been racking up Ks like one of her pitching idols, Carlin Pickens, former Tennessee Vols standout, pitching with the Blaze in AUSL this summer.
Carlin Pickens, a good chance to win AUSL Rookie of the Year. She's been absolutely phenomenal for the Carolina Blaze so far this season.
Here's the payoff. Flexed out toward right, over McDonald at second. Lafergie's got her first hit of the afternoon, and the go-ahead run is on base for Connecticut.
You think Ava Lafergie wants to help herself out and get her some run support here? This is a good at-bat, a pitch that's down and away. She's going to let the ball travel. Doesn't get all of it, but just enough to poke it over the head there of Maeve McDonald in Connecticut, with a base runner here looking to take the lead in the fourth.
McKinley Whitlock takes a strike. Struck out to begin the second. It's her second at bat of the afternoon. We had talked about earlier in the Open, this Connecticut team very big on SEC softball. When you talk to Adam Whitlock, McKinley's dad, he says there's a very good chance that she can name every Gator on this last softball roster with every position, who plays what position, where they play, when they've played. It's high and tight.
That's amazing. Just, I mean, that speaks to the growth of the game, right? You got a team that's up here in Bristol, Connecticut, whose favorite softball team is the Florida Gators. I mean, that just speaks to the accessibility, the viewership, allowing these young women to watch their role models each and every time they step on the field, whether that's through digital coverage, linear coverage, whatever it may be. The game has never been more accessible.
2-2's up high, counts full. Big fan of Florida All-American Taylor Shoemaker, former freshman of the year. All-American this last year. Here's the payoff. Tied wide. Connecticut's got the go-ahead run in scoring position with one away in the fourth.
Welcome back to the 7-0, Avery Collins.
First mound visit of the day. Natalie McCurdy's father, Sean McCurdy, makes his way out to the circle.
And I think this conversation is really just going to be about settling in, trying to find the strike zone. Opportunity to get the lead runner out, just settle down, execute your pitches. This is a really tough environment for Maine to have to play in with all of these Connecticut fans here. They are showing up and showing out.
These are the rules for Little League softball. You get 3 circle visits per game. After the third, you must make a pitching change. Any visit twice in one inning would constitute a necessary pitching change. Connecticut gave up the first run of the game. They're scratching on the board for possibly their second. That's a strike to Avery Collins. Her manager, Adam Whitlock, calls her smart, calm, cool, and collected.
No better time to be all of those things than in this moment right now.
The next pitch for McCurdy will be her 100th of the afternoon. Flips the outside edge for a called strike. It's inside to even the count. Into the gap, right center, that lands. Whitlock gives the waiver out from third as that rolls to the top of the track. 2 runs coming to score on an RBI 2-run triple, and this crowd is going nuts. Avery Collins gives the hometown team the lead.
Avery Collins, what a phenomenal piece of hitting. She works, she battles. She lets this ball travel. She's going to drive it into the right center gap. This is textbook. Look how she keeps her hands inside. She uses that lower half. I mean, this ball flew off her bat, and she knew right away, I am not stopping at second. I am going all the way to third, and I'm going to celebrate with all of these hometown Bristol fans. Love that shot of them going absolutely crazy as 2 runs come across the plate, and Connecticut takes the lead here in the bottom of the fourth.
Second hit for Connecticut with runners in scoring position today. That pitch up high to Mary Thompson. She's in a spot to potentially make this a 3-run Connecticut lead. Maine scored the first run of the game. Connecticut scored the last 3. Two and one.
I know we'll talk about that Avery Collins triple for a while as probably a key moment in this game, but in softball, a lot of times everything happens before it happens, and these Connecticut hitters have continued to just put the ball in play and make McCurdy work as another run's going to come home off of the bat of Mary Thompson to score Avery Collins. But they have just done an incredible job of battling, of getting that pitch count for McCurdy up, and it's paying off here in the 4th inning as they extend this lead to 4-1. How fun are these fans, Casey?
When you talk to Adam Whitlock, he said this place was going to be nuts. If you get a World Series atmosphere before the World Series, that's what we're seeing today here at Brain Field in Bristol. These Connecticut Little Leaguers play less than 20 minutes away from this field during the regular season. These fans have traveled. Ellie Tisha flips it to second. Dave McDonald is there for the out to retire the side, but not before Connecticut plates 3 runs in the 4th to take the lead. A 2-run triple from Avery Collins has given the hometown team some life through 4. Connecticut's got its first lead of the day, up 3 runs heading into the 5th. That might all they need with Ava Lafergie dealing in the circle.
Yeah, Lafergie is throwing La Flames past all of these main hitters. She's going down with her 2-seam, utilizing her curveball when she needs to, and as well as the off-speed, she's been firing on all cylinders. At one time struck out 5 in a row. We'll see if she can continue to build on that momentum now here, working with a 3-run lead. And all the momentum feels like it's on Connecticut's side right now.
Amelia Cody trampolines it foul wide of third base. The line for Lafergie, 8 Ks in 4 innings. A lot of those strikeouts came from this part of the order for Maine, 7 through 12. 5 of the 8 strikeouts have come from the 8 batters down. She struck out the side in the 3rd. Struck out the side in the 2nd. 0-2 is flexed out toward left center. That finds a spot in the grass. Maine is down 3, but they're not done quite yet. Leadoff single for Cody begins the 5th.
Stepping to the plate, number 9, Hannah Wilson.
Anna Wilson steps in. She struck out her first time up. A 2nd-generation regional talent. Her dad's cousin played in the regional back in the day. Down 0-2.
Lafergie going back to that curveball on the outside part of the plate. That's been one of her go-to swing and miss pitches so far in this game, especially with this part of the order. And if Maine's going to want to crawl back into this game, it's going to be this part of the lineup that has to step up.
Snapped over the outside edge for a called strike. 9 strikeouts for Lafergie. Puts away the first batter to the 5th.
Once again, it's going to that curveball, just clipping that outside part of the plate. She's really gotten so comfortable with this pitch as we've progressed into this ball game. You're going to see her whip that arm across. It clips that black part of the plate.
That one eludes Green behind the dish. Cody gets an extra 60 feet up in a scoring position. Emlet jabs at the pitch in the dirt, went around for a strike. What do you think about the team's leader in RBI scoring the bunt with 1-2 count?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe she sees something with the defensive alignment here. If I'm Nora Emlet, I want to make sure I'm swinging the bat. But also, too, if you're not seeing the ball well out of the pitcher's hand, totally understand wanting to go with some short game.
Line shot to first. They get the out there. Throw back to second. Knowles throw to Thompson. Cast wide of the bag. Cody gets back in there. And Lafergie is out of the way from leaving a runner on in the fifth.
I'll tell you what, Kiva Knowles over there at first base has been a part of a couple of hot corner plays. She stole one in the top of the first inning. Takes another hit away there from Nora Emlet here in the fifth. And I'm going to see a little conference here with Connecticut.
Adam Whitlock has his lineup card out. He has said that he's got 4 pitchers on this team that he feels uber confident in at any point in time. This is the first mound visit of the day for Connecticut. And it looks like Coach Whitlock is going to have a cup of water brought out there for Lafergie. Had all of us in suspense for a moment. Saw someone coming out of the dugout. Oh, it was a cup of water.
Just trying to stay hydrated out here. We are playing a summer outdoor sport, so
hydration's key, folks.
Make sure you drink your water. Make sure you get your electrolytes.
Lucy Coulthard is in an RBI spot. Lafergie's been saturating the zone with a bunch of swinging strikes. Gets ahead early on Coulthard, who struck out in the third. Our statistician John LaBombarda just passed a note. Hydration break, just like the FIFA World Cup, which, by the way, not going to give any spoilers, but one team is indeed winning right now. It's not a draw. It's not scoreless. One team is winning without
took a very
giving
late lead in that game.
Yes.
Match, excuse me. It's a match, right?
In the United States, we call it games. Overseas, like everyone else, match.
It's match.
Lafergie and Connecticut are 4 defensive outs away from a trip to the semifinals on Tuesday. Got her swinging. Lafergie fans her 10th batter of the day to complete her 5th inning in the circle.
Lafergie continuing to just pound the strike zone and get big-time swings and misses from these Maine hitters. Going upstairs with a curveball, getting another strikeout, Maine.
Welcome back to the Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. With Green blaring here at Brain Field, this Connecticut Little League team is feeling high right now. Up 3 runs and 3 defensive outs away from potentially moving on to Tuesday's semifinal at 7 o'clock, where they would play the winner of either Rhode Island or Vermont. But first things first, looking for some more run support in this bottom of the 5th against Maine's Natalie McCurdy. That's a called strike to the leadoff batter, Dakota Green, to begin this 5th inning. Alongside the former Olympian Haley McClenny, I'm Casey Roll. So glad you're with us on a sun-filled Sunday here in Bristol. 3 games today in the New England Regional. Yesterday, Vermont and New Hampshire got rained out with inclement weather. No chance of inclement weather today, unless a game can be called because it's too sunny outside.
I don't think any fan in the stands is complaining about the weather today. I know I'm enjoying the weather today much more than I did yesterday.
There was a lot of complaining in the movie Ratatouille. I know that, with the super chef, the master chef, not liking that one curly-haired guy's cooking. Count runs full to Green.
It's another full count. We've seen this 1 through 12 in the Connecticut lineup, just fouling off pitches, working counts. They're making Natalie McCurdy really throw every single pitch in her repertoire.
Green check swing, liner to short, snow cone grab from Sloan Tafe.
Sloan Tafe picking this ball right up off of the dirt. That is a phenomenal play. Over there at shortstop, Dakota Green gets all of this softball. I mean, she's going to go up in the zone and tomahawk this. High exit velocity, but a great read over there by Tafe to be able to pick up a leadoff out here for Maine, keeping them in this ball game.
Second trip for Faith Marie Soto. Drew a 10-pitch walk her first time up in the 3rd. She also happens to hit in the 10 spot. An excellent teammate through and through. She was asked about things that she wants to be able to accomplish. She had said that she wants to be the reason someone has a good day. Whether it be in softball, in life, just wants to be the reason someone has a smile on their face. Bounding ball to second, wicked hop goes over the top of McDonald. Throw to first is in time for the out. Excellent job sticking with it at the keystone position to retire Soto.
And this is a ball that Faith Marie Soto hits really hard. I'm wondering if we're going to see a replay review here, because this was a bang-bang play, but Maeve McDonald, this ball eats her up. It takes a really, really tough hop, and she's able to fire it over to first base. The call on the field is out, but it does look like there is going to be a review. It was really close. I'm interested to see what this replay is going to show us.
That was Hannah Wilson at second base, who threw a rocket over the first. It's the second challenge for Connecticut. They're 0 for 1 today.
You'll see Soto's getting down the line really fast. That is so close. It does look like, to me, Casey, that ball is headed towards the back of the glove just before that foot gets down from Soto. But I'm not sure there's enough here to overturn this.
Each team does get 2 challenges in a regulation innings. They are use it or lose it challenges. So in the sense of Adam Whitlock, why not try to get a review?
And I think this is our best angle. Look at that stretch by Cody over there at first base. Just a great job, textbook fundamental stretching there. I do think this call is going to stand.
And it does stand on the field. Connecticut is out of challenges for the remainder of regulation innings. If this game were to go into extras, they would get a challenge, as would Maine. And with 2 outs, here's Alex Patterson. Got to applaud the job from Hannah Wilson at second base, sticking with that over there after that hard hop off her glove. Second at bat for Patterson. She struck out in the third. Bounding ball to first base. Couple room service hops for Cody. Steps to the bag, and a 3-up, 3-down inning authored by Natalie McCurdy. Connecticut is up 3 runs. They're 3 outs away from moving on to a semi. Can they get it done? Come the 6th when we return to Bristol. The Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN are presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. There's a look at the Bristol campus, the headquarters of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Just up the road here in Bristol, Monk City. The Bristol Little Leaguers are 3 outs away from moving on to the semis. How happy would that guy be? ESPN's Senior Director of Traffic Operations, otherwise known as Bristol Little League Manager Adam Whitlock. Here's a look at the game summary. Maine's Sophia Santiago has been a machine. 2 hits, score the run. For the go-ahead 2-run triple from Avery College has been the big momentum changer today. Ava Lafergi's also swung momentum in the Connecticut's order. She's out there for the 6th, going for a possible complete game 1-run outing. She does contend with the 11, 12, and 1 batters for Maine in the 6th, starting with Hayden West.
And really important for Maine, too, knowing that Sophia Santiago, your best hitter, is due up 4th. You want to try to get someone on base so she gets an opportunity to hit in this 6th inning to keep Maine alive. And we'll see if the bottom part of the order can produce and get some runners on base.
Down the chute, got her looking. Ten strikeouts for Ava Lafergi. Check that, 11 strikeouts for Lafergi. Professional softball is returning to Greenville, North Carolina for the 2026 AUSL Pro Game presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, set to take place on Wednesday, August 5th. Learn more at littleleague.org/athletesunlimited. Got a noticeable reaction from lady over to my right, Haley McClenny, former AUSL standout back in the early 2020s.
I love you saying the early 2020s.
Early
right.
2020s.
I love that.
We are in the late 2020s, technically.
Technically. That was one of my favorite events to play in, the pro games at the Little League World Series. Getting to meet all the Little Leaguers that make it there just really puts things into perspective as a professional athlete. Brings you so much love of the game, joy. Really, really fun and a great event put on by all the great folks at Little League out there in Greenville.
Morgan Allen swings and fouls it back. She struck out her first time up in the 3rd. Her older sister Cam was a part of the Gorham Little League team that made it to Bristol in 2024. While her favorite athlete, Leo Messi, just took a heartbreaker a few moments ago. 1-0 loss to Spain in the World Cup final. Allen is hoping that Maine doesn't suffer the same result against these Connecticut Little Leaguers. Down by 3 runs in the 6th, 2 outs away from having to battle their way through the elimination bracket. Ronaldo fans definitely are happy that Messi lost. I can tell you that.
No doubt.
One, two. Pounded down the line at third into the camera well. Always have to have your head on a swivel down the line. No glove as well, just both hands on the camera. Dedication to the craft.
Absolutely locked in over there.
That's form over there.
True professionalism.
Allen waves and misses, making a dirty dozen for Lafergie. Connecticut's an out away from moving on to the semis.
And it's a dirty dozen strikeouts, and this was a dirty, dirty changeup from Lafergie. She's gone to this pitch a little bit more as we've gotten deeper into this game, but this ball is just going to absolutely fall off the table, pulls the string on it, and absolutely fools Morgan Allen. And Connecticut 1 out away here from getting a win in front of their hometown team, hometown fans.
Sloan Tafe is one of the few batters who hasn't struck out today. She's 1 for 2 in the leadoff spot. Winner plays either Vermont or Rhode Island on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. That game, Rhode Island and Vermont, set to follow this one here at Brain Field, the 3rd and final game of the 2nd day of the New England Regional. Tafe grounds it to short. Few room service hops for Bastians. Throw to first is true. Bristol stand up. The hometown team is playing in the semis of a regional 2 days from now. And it was Ava Lafergie who guided Connecticut to the semis. They take down Maine 4-1.
Ava Lafergie, you can't say enough about what this young lady was able to do today. A little bit of a rocky start. Maine jumps out to an early 1-0 lead, but she gathered herself, got her composure, found her timing, found the strike zone. On her way to a 12 strikeout complete game performance. In front of her hometown fans, they are going crazy here in Bristol. What a fun moment for this group. So fun to watch how this community has just come together and rallied around these young ladies. And how about Avery Collins with the huge RBI triple to really break this game open for Connecticut. They're in the 4th inning.
This team has stayed undefeated in the postseason, 10-0 between districts and state. Here's a look at the updated bracket. Connecticut plays on Tuesday in the winner's bracket against either Vermont or Rhode Island. Maine plays in the elimination bracket beginning on Monday. Tomorrow, Monday. It's hard to think. Tomorrow's already Monday.
No Sunday scaries around here.
With Paramore's Ain't It Fun playing over the loudspeakers, this crowd is having a blast all the way into the semis on Tuesday. Connecticut will play at 7 o'clock Eastern time against either Vermont or Rhode Island. Have yourself a fun Sunday. One more game left here in the New England Regional. We'll say goodbye for now for rules expert Garrett Argiena, statistician John Lumbamarda, director Isaac Rice, and producer Aaron Snyder-Storm. For Haley McClaney to my right, I'm Casey Roll saying so long from Bristol. Connecticut dispatches Maine 4-1.